Have you ever started learning English with excitement, but after a few days, you stopped? Then you promised yourself, I'll start again tomorrow. But tomorrow became next week, and next week became next month. If this sounds like you, don't worry. The problem is not that you are bad at English. The real problem is much simpler. You did not practice every day. Learning English is not about being smart. It is about being consistent. Even 15 or 20 minutes of daily practice can slowly change your English. Many learners think, maybe I don't have talent, but that is not true. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need expensive courses. You only need one small habit, practice every single day. Let me tell you a story. This is the story of a boy named Ahmed. Ahmed was 19 years old. He lived in a small village where life was simple and opportunities were few. His parents worked hard in the fields every day to support the family. Ahmed saw how tired they were, and he wanted to help them. He didn't dream of becoming rich or famous. He had one simple dream. He wanted to learn English so he could get a better job and give his parents a better life. Ahmed did not have expensive courses or a new laptop. He only had an old phone, a strong dream, and the courage to keep learning. Every day, he learned a few new words. He practiced speaking, even when he made mistakes. Sometimes he felt sad and thought about giving up, but he always started again. One evening, Ahmed downloaded a language learning app on his old phone. Every night he watched English lessons on YouTube. He also bought a small notebook with a red cover. Every new word he learned went into that notebook. Page by page, his confidence began to grow. For the first 2 weeks, Ahmed never missed a day. After dinner, he sat outside his house in the same chair and studied. He spoke English in front of a mirror, smiled at his mistakes, and tried again. He was not perfect, but he was consistent. While walking to the market, Ahmed quietly repeated English words to himself. Sometimes he imagined talking with people in fluent English. He felt excited every day. He thought about his dream before going to sleep and again when he woke up. But then life became busy. His cousin came to visit and stayed for a few days. Soon after that, there was a family wedding. The house was full of guests, noise, and work. A few days later, Ahmed came home very tired after work. He said to himself, I'll study tomorrow. Nothing bad happened to Ahmed. There was no big problem. No one told him to stop learning. Life just became busy, as it does for everyone. One missed day became 3 days. 3 days became 1 week. Before Ahmed knew it, his little red notebook was sitting on a shelf covered with dust. He stopped studying for 3 weeks. Not forever, just 3 weeks. When he finally opened the notebook again, something had changed. The excitement was gone. Many of the words he had learned felt unfamiliar. He opened the learning app, looked at it for a moment, and then closed it again. Not because he didn't want to learn, but because starting again felt harder than starting the first time. Ahmed was not lazy, he was not careless, and he was not less intelligent than anyone else. What happened to him happens to many English learners. They forget one important lesson. Motivation does not stay forever. Some days you feel excited, some days you don't. That is completely normal. Real progress does not depend on motivation. It depends on consistency. Many people think consistency means being perfect. They imagine waking up at 5 a.m., studying for 2 hours every day, and never missing a lesson. But real life doesn't work like that, and believing that idea makes many people give up before they really begin. Real consistency is much simpler. It means studying for just 10 minutes after a long day. It means practicing one sentence, even when you don't feel like it. It means coming back after a break instead of giving up. Consistency does not mean you never miss a day. It means you always come back. Near my grandmother's old house, there was a small, quiet river. In the middle of that river stood one large rock. The rock was big, strong, and heavy. It had stayed there for many years, maybe even hundreds of years. It looked like nothing could ever change it. Every day, the river flowed around the rock. The water was soft and gentle. It didn't push hard. It didn't make loud noise. But every single day it touched the rock again and again. Year after year, the water slowly changed the rock. Not because it was stronger, but because it never stopped. That is the power of patience and consistency. The same thing happens when you learn English. Many people think small efforts don't matter. 10 minutes of study feels too short. Learning 5 new words feels too little. Speaking one English sentence feels useless, because we often think progress must be big to be real. But your brain works differently. Your brain learns through repetition. Every time you practice, even for a few minutes, your brain becomes a little stronger. Little by little, your English improves. Not because you studied for many hours once, but because you kept coming back. Maybe your story is different from Ahmed's. Maybe someone laughed at your English and it hurt your confidence. Maybe you compared yourself with someone who learned faster. Maybe life became busy with work, family, or other problems. Whatever the reason, it was real. I'm not here to blame you. I'm here to tell you something important. It is not too late. You can start again today. But before you open a book or watch another English lesson, you need to change one thing. Not your schedule, not your study plan. You need to change your idea of consistency. Many people think consistency means being perfect, but that belief stops them from making progress. Think about when you were a small child. Did you learn to walk perfectly? No. You tried. You fell down. Then you stood up and tried again. You didn't give up because you fell. You simply kept trying. That same strength is still inside you. You haven't lost it. You just forgot about it. Now let me explain consistency in a very simple way. Imagine you have a small plant near your window. Today you give it water. Tomorrow you forget. The next day you remember and water it again. Will the plant die? No. It will keep growing. Maybe not very fast. Maybe not perfectly. But it will grow because you came back. You didn't throw it away after missing one day. Learning English is the same. Consistency is not about being perfect. It is about never giving up and always coming back. Consistency means one simple thing. Always come back, even after you miss a day, a week, or even a month. Ahmed slowly understood this. It didn't happen in one big moment. It happened little by little. He stopped blaming himself for the 3 weeks he missed. He stopped thinking about the past. Instead, he focused on today. He had one notebook, one pen, one quiet evening. That was enough. One day, Ahmed made a simple promise to himself. Every night after dinner, before using his phone or watching TV, he would study English for just 10 minutes. Not 1 hour, not 2 hours, just 10 minutes. He wrote these words on a small piece of paper and put it on his bedroom wall. 10 minutes, every night, no excuses. Those simple words slowly changed his life. On the first night, he learned 5 new words. He said them aloud. Then he wrote one simple sentence with each word. That was enough. On the second night, he listened to a short English conversation on his phone. He paused the audio and repeated each sentence. Sometimes he made mistakes. He smiled, corrected himself, and tried again. On the third night, he talked about his own day in English. He said, "I woke up early. I went to work. I came home tired. I am learning English." Only 4 simple sentences, but they were his own words. He made them without anyone's help. That made him feel proud. Now, there is something very important you should understand. Ahmed did not feel excited every day. He wasn't always motivated. Most evenings he felt tired. Sometimes he didn't even want to open his notebook. But he opened it anyway. That is the real difference between people who improve and people who stay the same. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not having more free time. It is simply showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Now let's talk about your brain. Your brain learns through repetition. The first time you do something, it feels difficult. The second time, it becomes a little easier. After many times, your brain starts doing it naturally. It creates a habit. You don't have to think so much anymore. That is why the first week of any new habit feels the hardest. Your brain is still getting used to the new routine. It feels strange. It feels uncomfortable. But if you keep going, it slowly becomes easier. And one day, practicing English will feel as normal as brushing your teeth. During the first few days, your brain is still asking, "Do we really need this new habit?" Your answer is simple. Yes, we are doing this. If you keep showing up, your new habit slowly becomes part of your daily life. Just like brushing your teeth. You don't wait to feel motivated to brush your teeth. You simply do it. After 2 weeks, Ahmed noticed something surprising. One afternoon, while walking to the shop, an English sentence came into his mind without trying. "The weather is nice today." He stopped for a moment. He looked up at the sky and quietly said it again. "The weather is nice today." It lasted only a few seconds. Nobody heard him. Nobody praised him. But inside, Ahmed felt happy. That was his first real sign of progress. Real progress is not always a high test score. It is not always someone saying, "Well done." Sometimes it is that quiet moment when English starts to feel natural. It no longer feels like a stranger. It begins to feel familiar, like a road you have walked many times. You may not know every corner, but you know enough to keep walking, and that is real progress. Maybe you are thinking, can just 10 minutes really make a difference? Yes, it can. Let me ask you something. If you drink 1 glass of water today, will you become healthier right away? Probably not. But if you drink enough water every day for 3 months, your body changes. You feel healthier. The power is not in 1 glass of water. The power is in doing it every day. Learning English works the same way. Ahmed kept studying. Week 3, week 4. Sometimes he studied for 10 minutes, sometimes 15, sometimes 20. Not because he forced himself, because he started enjoying it. That is the quiet secret of consistency. When you do something regularly, it slowly stops feeling like hard work. It becomes part of your life. English was no longer something Ahmed was chasing. It became something he truly owned. Then one day, something unexpected happened at work. Ahmed's manager received an email in English. He needed someone to read it and explain its meaning. Everyone stayed silent. Nobody wanted to try. Ahmed took a deep breath. He read the email slowly. Then he looked up and said, "It is asking about the delivery time. They want to know when the order will arrive." Ahmed's English was not perfect, but it was clear. People understood him. And that was enough. His manager understood the email. The work was finished. His colleagues looked at Ahmed with new respect. That small moment gave him more confidence. When he went home that evening, he opened his red notebook. At the top of a new page, he wrote, "Today I helped my manager understand an English email." Then he wrote the new words he had learned. He also wrote a few new sentences to practice later. That experience became a reason to keep learning. Not because he felt pressure, because he finally saw that his hard work was paying off. This is something I want you to remember. Consistency doesn't only improve your English, it also changes how you see yourself. Ahmed didn't only learn new words, he discovered something more important. He learned that he was someone who never gave up. He became someone who kept showing up, even on difficult days. That quiet belief made him stronger. 3 months passed. Ahmed still used the same red notebook. Most of the pages were now full. They were filled with words, simple sentences, and short conversations he had practiced by himself. From the outside, it looked like an ordinary notebook. No beautiful design, no perfect handwriting, just page after page of honest effort. But inside that notebook was something very valuable. Proof. Proof that Ahmed kept showing up every day. One evening, while Ahmed was studying, his younger sister came and sat beside him. She watched him for a few minutes. Then she smiled and asked, "Brother, when did your English become so good?" Ahmed smiled. He looked at his sister. Then he looked at his red notebook. Only then did he realize how much he had improved. The change had happened slowly, day by day, word by word. Because progress is often hard to notice when it happens little by little. But other people can often see it before you do. His sister could clearly see the result of all those evenings he spent practicing English after dinner. That is one of the best things about consistency. At first, it feels like nothing is changing, but something is always happening. Think about planting a seed. You water it today, then tomorrow, then the next day. When you look at the ground, you see nothing. It may seem like your work is making no difference, but under the soil, the roots are growing. They are becoming stronger every day. You cannot see them, but they are preparing the plant to grow. Learning English works the same way. Even when you cannot see the progress, your skills are growing little by little. One day, just like Ahmed, you will look back and realize how far you have come. You cannot see the roots growing, but they are growing every day. Then one morning, a small green shoot appears above the ground. It may look like the plant grew overnight, but that is not true. It has been growing quietly from the very beginning. Learning English works the same way. Your daily practice may seem small, but every day your skills are getting stronger. One day, other people will notice the difference. Now I want to talk to you. Not about Ahmed, about you. Maybe you have also been trying. Maybe you have studied for a few minutes whenever you could. Maybe you feel like nothing is changing. Maybe you are asking yourself, is my effort really making a difference? The answer is yes. Every time you practice, your brain is learning. every time you come back, you become a little better, even if you cannot see the progress yet. But let me tell you something important. There is a big difference between trying sometimes and building a habit. If you study for 2 days because you feel excited, then stop for 3 weeks. That is not consistency. That is motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Consistency stays. Wanting to improve is not enough. You must also take small action every day. So after you finish this video, I want you to do one simple thing. Don't make a big study plan. Choose one small task that you can do tomorrow. Learn 5 new words. Read 1 short paragraph aloud. Or describe your day in 3 simple English sentences. Choose only one. Write it down, then do it tomorrow. Not next week, tomorrow. Ahmed did the same thing. He kept showing up every day. After several months, he finally moved to the city. He got the job he had always wanted. It was not a perfect job, but it was a good job. His English helped him every day. He read emails. He answered phone calls. He joined meetings with his coworkers. Sometimes he didn't understand every word, but he understood enough, and that was enough to do his job well. His English wasn't perfect. It didn't need to be. It was built little by little through practice, patience, and consistency. Every time he understood an English conversation, every time he replied to an email, every time he spoke with confidence, he felt proud of himself. A quiet voice inside him said, "You built this. No one gave it to you." That is the biggest lesson from Ahmed's story. Every small step matters. Every evening you practice matters. Every time you come back after missing a day matters. Those small actions slowly create the person you want to become. So don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait until you feel fully motivated. Start with one small step today. Keep coming back tomorrow. And one day, you will look back and realize that your small daily efforts changed your life. Ahmed took his red notebook with him when he moved to the city. He still keeps it today. Not because he still needs it, but because it reminds him where his journey began. It reminds him of the young man who came home tired after work, yet still chose 10 minutes of English instead of 10 minutes of rest. At that time, Ahmed thought he was making only small progress, but he was already changing. He just couldn't see it yet. Maybe you have days like that too. Days when you think everyone else is learning faster. Days when you compare your English with other people. Days when you feel like you will never catch up. But remember this, that feeling is only a moment. It is not your whole story. You are not competing with anyone. You have your own journey, your own starting point, your own challenges, and your own progress. Some days you learn a lot, some days you learn only a little, and some days the biggest success is simply not giving up. Every step still counts. Now let me give you 3 simple tips, not difficult strategies, just small habits that really work. First, every morning say 1 English sentence before you check your phone. It can be something simple. Today is a good day. I will learn something new today. Hearing your own voice speaking English helps your brain become more comfortable with the language. Second, whenever you learn a new word, don't only write it down. Use it in a sentence about your own life. For example, if the new word is tired, write, "I felt tired after work, but I still studied English." Now the word becomes part of your own story. That makes it easier to remember. Third, and this is the most important one, if you miss a day, don't be angry with yourself. Don't think you have failed. Everyone misses days. That is normal. What matters is what you do next. Open your notebook again. Read one page. Learn one new word. Speak one English sentence. Then continue. Real consistency is not about never stopping. It is about always coming back. Many people stop learning because they don't know how to start again. But every time you return, you become stronger. If you keep doing these small things, if you keep practicing for just 10 minutes a day, little by little, your English will change. At first, you may not notice it, but one day you will understand an English video more easily. You will speak with more confidence. You will remember more words without trying. And then you will realize something amazing. The small things you did every day were changing your life all along. Real progress is usually quiet. It does not happen all at once. There is no single day when everything suddenly becomes easy. Instead, you improve little by little. Every small practice session adds something, even when you don't notice it. Then one day, something surprising happens. Maybe you are talking to someone in English. Maybe you are watching an English video. Maybe you are reading a message or answering a phone call. Suddenly, you understand more than before. An English sentence comes into your mind naturally. You don't stop to translate it. You don't search for the right words. They simply come to you. That is the reward of consistency. It happens quietly. The person you want to become is already growing. Every time you study, every time you practice, and every time you start again after taking a break, you are building that future version of yourself. You just need to keep going, one small step at a time. So tonight, open your notebook, or open a note on your phone, or stand in front of a mirror and say one English sentence. It doesn't matter if your pronunciation is not perfect. It doesn't matter if nobody hears you. What matters is that you showed up again. That is what consistency really means. It is not about studying for hours every day. It is not about being perfect. It is about coming back again and again. It is about taking one small action, even when you don't feel motivated. At first, that small action becomes a habit. Then the habit becomes progress. Progress becomes confidence. Confidence becomes skill. And one day, that skill changes your life. Always remember this. Big success is built from small daily actions. Keep showing up. Keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Your English will improve. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But if you stay consistent, it will happen. One small step, one day at a time.